This is a breakdown of BFFless. It is a backend for frontend deployed on DigitalOcean or Hetzner or your cloud provider of choice, served through Cloudflare. And I'm going to break down what all these things are: DNS, CDN, WAFs, BFF. So let's go. Long time ago, we used to just communicate by yelling at each other across long distances. Advance a little bit further, and we get communication via phone line. And as the internet came out, we needed a better way to communicate content over long distances. And we modeled it very similar and after the phone line and even used the phone line. What we created was a network, an edge, and a server. This is how we end up downloading content from the internet. Really, all the network is a way to map a domain name, bffless.com, to a server somewhere in the world. Not going to get into all the details here, but the gist of it is you register a domain name with a domain name registrar, such as not Namecheap, and then when your browser makes a request for that domain name, it knows through a published name server where the IP address is of the computer. The name server, in this case Cloudflare, has the DNS records. The DNS records point to an IP address where my content is served from. This is DigitalOcean, Hetzner, Google Cloud, Amazon, wherever you choose. You have the control at your name server and your DNS records to point to any location you want with an IP address. Next is the edge. The network has identified a location to send the request to. The edge is responsible for serving that content that may be cached, blocking that content that may be from a bad actor, or sending it along to your backend server to finally resolve the content you want served. Edge providers such as Cloudflare have hundreds of points of presences around the world so that when you make a request from Tokyo or from New York, it lands at a server closest to where you are as the user. Then, if that content is already on the edge, it is returned directly to you, so it does not have to travel around the world. Now, if that content is not on the edge, it will forward the request onto your backend server. One of the benefits of using Cloudflare or an edge provider is it has the ability to cache content for you and prevent bad actors from flooding your backend server with requests that you don't want. Cloudflare does this. It does a great job at this and will help protect you as well as make your website faster. So I highly recommend using an edge provider with a CDN and DDoS protection. The last step in the request from the browser to the network to the edge is the server. This is the application that is responsible for returning your request. Now, in some cases, you might decide to forward it on to another location, but that is a choice made by the BFF server. BFF stands for backend for frontend. The backend for frontend application is primarily returning HTML, JavaScript assets, and CSS so that the web browser can render content. Now, it also has the additional capability of forwarding requests to other APIs or making database calls or pulling content out of a storage bucket hosted on GCS or Amazon or any other cloud hosting provider. What it's doing is it's looking at things such as the path in the URL or potentially cookies to return content that you want returned. That maybe you've built a presentation using Reveal or React, Astro library. You've uploaded it to your BFF backend. It is returning that content to the browser.